little Mexican standoff we got here.
The best Mexican standoffs are defined as much by tense conversation.
Well, look at this, huh? A goddamn Mexican standoff in f***ing Mexico.
As by firepower. There is some confusion over what exactly qualifies as a Mexican standoff.
And a Mexican standoff ain't trust.
Whoa, you need guns on me for it to be a Mexican standoff.
And while there might be only one definition, there are many ways to shoot them.
Ooh, guns.
This is what is a Mexican standoff.
But I shot a man in Reno.
The terms standoff and Mexican standoff are often used interchangeably, but there is one key distinction between them. A traditional standoff comes down to skill.
You need a count?
No, sir.
Whoever is faster or has better aim could walk away as the clear victor. But in a Mexican standoff, no participant has an advantage, and everyone is in mortal danger. The only two outcomes in these situations are to mutually agree to walk away.
There are other places to dig.
Or to start shooting.
It's over.
Let's start with the most straightforward example. Quentin Tarantino has made the Mexican standoff one of his signature scenes. In scripts he wrote like Natural Born Killers.
Looks like we got us a Mexican standoff.
To films he also directed, like Pulp Fiction.
Vincent! Be cool!
And in Kill Bill. But let's go back to one of the first. The Reservoir Dogs Mexican standoff. The presentation of this scene assumes an objective and neutral point of view.
Dad, I'm sorry, but I don't know what the hell's happening.
It's all right, Eddie, I do.
What the f*** are you talking about?
That lump of shit's working with the LAPD.
How do you know all this?
It was the only one I wasn't 100% on.
The camera remains static, devoid of any unmotivated or distracting camera movements. The stillness of the camera keeps us locked in place as we are forced to wait for the climax.
You lost your mind.
Wide shots with deep depth of field give us a clear sense of the space, the participants, and where each gun is pointed.
There's no need for this, man. Let's just put our guns down and let's settle this with a fucking conversation.
Joe, if you kill that man, you die next. Repeat, if you kill that man, you die next.
The slower-paced editing lets the shots play longer, averaging approximately 4 seconds per shot. This allows the tension to be built by the actors' performances more than anything. And the lack of any musical score helps to ground us in this moment.
Don't make me do this.
Larry, stop pointing that fucking gun at my dad!
The Reservoir Dogs Mexican standoff is a textbook example. The presentation is simple and uncomplicated, but that doesn't make it any less effective. If you want to give the audience an objective experience, this might be the way to do it. Tarantino's love of the Mexican standoff can most likely be attributed to John Woo.
There had not been a Sergio Leone or anybody like that come out and shown us what we'd seen before, but in a completely new eyes until John Woo.
The Hong Kong action extraordinaire has crafted some of the best Mexican standoffs throughout his career. But let's focus on this scene from Face Off. The presentation here isn't a realistic portrayal. It is stylized and cinematic. The exaggerated shooting style matches the film's over-the-top premise.
Then we fit his face on top, not a replica, but the real thing. Then we simply connect the muscles, tear ducts, and nerve endings.
So you want to take his face and mine?
Borrowed. The procedure's completely reversible.
Honey. Honey.
History repeats itself.
Wu uses everything from establishing wide shots to extreme close-ups.
Why didn't you just kill yourself or let it go? No father could.
They don't just use static shots, they mix in dynamic camera movements, especially when a new character joins the standoff.
Gun down.
Why don't you put your guns down?
Whee! What a predicament!
By editing through these shots quickly, it keeps the scene active. A dramatic musical score slowly builds underneath, stepping up even more as the dialogue stops. Finally, a couple of slow-motion shots to draw out the tension even more just before the melee ensues. In another film, these hyper-stylized choices would seem out of place, but in a film as operatic as Face Off, they feel right at home. Let's look at our last example that splits the difference between neutral and hyper-stylized. The Wind River Mexican standoff is designed to make us feel the panic and confusion of those involved.
Morning.
Can I help you?
Yeah, does Matt Rayburn work here?
Yeah? You know where he is?
That's what we're trying to find out. His girlfriend filed a missing persons report.
Well, how can that be? I thought you guys found her in a snowdrift right before the storm.
Excuse me?
Well, I heard her name go out over the radio when you guys found her.
I don't remember using her name.
Writer-director Taylor Sheridan accomplishes this with the following techniques. The camera is almost exclusively handheld. This gives the moment a spontaneous feeling. Anything could happen at any moment.
What are you doing?
What?
Why are you flanking me?
Shot sizes are mostly mediums and close-ups, which maintains the tension by limiting the audience's field of view. Another technique is breaking the 180-degree rule. Disobeying this rule is disorienting and creates confusion.
You're breaking the law by being here.
Hey!
This is leased land on a reservation, deputy.
The camera jumps between multiple perspectives, making the audience just as confused and panicked as the characters.
Fucking gun down right now! Put it down! Yell it! Drop your knee right now!
The longer focal length compresses the space, making an already tense situation even more claustrophobic. The musical score adds to the cacophony with a slow, booming rhythm that rises in intensity.
Think I don't know what you're doing?
Do it, asshole! See what happens!
Okay, hey, white boy, let's go.
We get overlapping lines of shouted dialogue that makes it clear that a peaceful resolution is unlikely.
Got us in a crossfire.
Talk to me! What do I do? Hold your ground! County sheriffs have no authority! Go! What do we do?
You'll also notice the costume design choice to dress all of these characters nearly identically. This adds another layer of tension as the audience struggles to separate the good guys from the bad guys.
All right, everybody, just take it easy!
FBI! Hey, FBI! This is federal land and I am the only authority, okay? Right now, all of you stand down. Okay, everyone. And we're all working towards the same goal here, and I need you to back down and take your hands away from your weapons. Look.
All of these techniques serve to disorient the viewer and to create just as much chaos and confusion for the viewer as the characters. There are many different ways to shoot a Mexican standoff. You could mismatch the weapons.
It's the Boy Scout marching song.
Introduce a hostage, or make the combatants uneven numbers. In the description, you'll find links to storyboarding and shot listing resources you can use to plan out your own Mexican standoff. Until next time, everybody,
Calm down. Count of 3, we're all gonna put down our guns.
I have crossbows.
We'll put down our weaponry on the count of 3.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
1, 2,
2,
3.